Welcome to our DeepTech Showcase presentation. And now DeepTech Showcase, what it used to be was only open for US company who have won business with a government agency. We've now expanded the services to also be for non-US. So we're now experiencing and servicing companies also in Japan and Korean companies, but also in Europe and Israel, which is the topic of the presentation today. What I'm hoping to do is show and present what is DeepTech, what do we do, how do we service, and how do we do it. So what DeepTech is, it's a business community for deep tech companies. So we're connecting between deep tech startups, stakeholders, and ecosystem to help them facilitate their business growth to the next step on what they need. So our startups are developing deep tech. They're developing dual use technology that could be used for the private sector and the government, and they have won government funding for their R&D or to expand their business. These are the companies that are looking for. They are very much okay. We're very much okay if they've won grants in Europe or within the Israel Innovation Authority or within grants in Korea or Japan. We're more than happy to help them. Who are the stakeholders and the people that we connect our startups to? That our stakeholders is people who can assist them through either capital, contracts, partnerships, and access to customers. And these can be either federal agencies and representatives and CDCIOs. So mostly the majority of help that we can offer today in the US is within federal stakeholders, government agencies that we can connect them and introduce them through the person who would be interested in learning more about their technology. Major corporation tech scouts, and I'm going to be name dropping further down, but we have companies like Lockheed Martin. We have investors such as InQtel joining our events, coming to see the companies that we vet. Our mission is to advance innovative small businesses and their solutions together with investors, corporate and federal agencies. We will accomplish this with the showcases, pitch events, summits, guided introductions, mentoring programs, and much, much more, where the bottom line is to help your company advance and do the next business growth, whether it's stakeholders, investors, or business development there. How do we do it? Our team will help the startup shape the strategy and the business materials as part of the preparation to the meetings and the pitch events. The point is to help you either facilitate that through introductions or meet the person that you need. And many times we help companies in the pitch and the actual material and the ask. We're going to do guided introductions. We will introduce the startup on a monthly basis to the relevant investors or stakeholders and private stakeholders or even public from our network. Our network is expanding on a daily basis that I see the team either gets reintroduced with investors every day. An amazing company from Japan, from Korea, from Israel, from the US comes to our events, wants to see the companies that we vet because they know the vetting that we do to the companies and the value that we can give them. Afterwards, we're getting our companies to present at showcase events. DeepTech Showcase will give the startup the opportunity to pitch in one or more of our monthly exclusive showcase events where there is a company and there's going to be stakeholders from the private and public sector and investors. Our events, monthly showcase events to our members, and that's specific for industry. So we have events for AI, cybersecurity, materials. You can just take a look here that in January was space and open tech, then it's smart cities, AI, ML, industry 4.0, industry. And the point is to get the relevant stakeholders with the relevant companies and the relevant investors so our companies have the maximum chances of getting on next step. The point is at the end of the day, because the stakeholders know that we vet the companies and they want to see them because they understand that they're relevant, investors want to be there the same, and it's good for our companies because this is a warm introduction. This is not a cold call. This is a company or stakeholder or investor who wants to see the technologies that are arriving to our events. Our previous events and the impact. This is just a small number of this has CEOs, investors, and really innovators that have joined our events. And this is the panel. This is just a small number of the companies that have joined and pitched. You can see Nanoramic, Robotag, Readly, Westlight, Exonic, Vocalytics. All of these are companies that have been invested and have won R&D funding, either with our sister company, Eagle Point Funding, or they've also done it with themselves, but they're here for our help and what we can and the people we can introduce them. Look what we've done in space, and this is the panelists who join our Megan Crawford is a huge name within the Air Force and Space Fund, and this is to help them get funded. B612, OptiPulse, Flight Materials, Interface, Irradiant, Elementum, all of these are companies that have joined the showcase event. Take a look at our March 3rd event, and here's the panel. The point is, what I want you to see is every time, look at the names that we're bringing in, look at every time that the panel and it's different companies that we bring into events, and we're trying to tailor it. If you're an AI company, you're now going to meet a materials scientist. And this was the March 18th pitch event. I pitched there, as well as talking about Eagle Point Funding, our sister company. And again, you can take a look at the difference of the companies that have joined. What is the impact? In January 29th, we have already done 11 intros to the DoD within 5 days, 27 intros to investors, 147 attendees, March 18th, 100 attendees, and 6 intros, and more of them are still in process. The reason and what I want to show you is we're able to get a company that doesn't have yet a foot in the door within the US market, or they're trying to figure out who are the people they should contact, or they're trying to work on their pitch. They're trying to understand what should be their ask. They're trying to get a leg in the door without paying $50,000 a year for a biz dev guy. So we work on a monthly basis or we work on an annual basis. I highly, highly recommend, if you have questions, that you reach out to Asher at DeepTechShowcase.com or visit our website. Uli, any questions? So if there are no, another question that usually pops up is, how soon should we see results or introductions? The way it works is we sign the contract, we decide to work on a monthly basis or an annual basis. Then what we do is we have a kickoff meeting with the DeepTech Showcase team. Their job is to understand, what are you looking for? Are you looking to work more with the government, a corporation, or meet as many investors as possible and the relevant ones? Then it would be our job to introduce you at least to one stakeholder a month to go and introduce you with them. Then you can also join one of our monthly events. In those monthly events, you'll be able to pitch to a larger panel of investors, stakeholders, and corporations, and from there, maybe they'd be interested and pique their interest, so you can go and have a face-to-face meeting with them. So that's usually the way it works. So far, a great introductions that we've had is we introduced Lockheed Martin with one of our companies, and they started speaking 2 weeks ago. They're now meeting with them on a daily basis, seeing how and where and what can they cooperate on. So if this is an interest, if you're trying to find a foothold in the American market, you already have some sort of basic investment, and you're trying to see which investors, if there's interest in the federal government, or which corporation, large stakeholder can you engage with, I highly recommend you email Asher at DeepTechShowcase.com or visit our website at DeepTechShowcase.com. So I'm free for any questions that anyone might have, but if not, thank you very much.